Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. अरे पागल।
Namaste, friends. Welcome. Welcome to the session.
Namaste, sir. Shailesh.
Namaste, namaste, namaste.
From Mumbai.
Namaste, sir.
Welcome, 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 everybody.
नमस्ते सर, नमस्ते।
बहुत ही tough times चल रहा है. I know many people must be having many questions. So it will be very interesting, but this is part of the investment journey. Karthik would agree with me because of a long time.
Completely. I mean, we've seen this many times again and again, but when we pass through it, that the pain is something we have to tolerate. What else to do?
Sabri ji कैसे हैं? Mrs. Sabri कैसे हैं? Cannot hear you.
I'm fine, sir. As you were saying, we are going through the pain and hoping that things will turn for the better very soon.
Yeah, this actually this has the all the greedy players have to exit the market, That is all the greed players who buy all the bad stock, they're all exiting. So there are some interesting things we'll share with everyone.
Yeah.
Hello, Radhika, how are you?
Hello, sir. I'm good. How are you? So good to see you again.
Not very good times though.
That's like very good to see you.
So I think so. We're waiting for some more people to join. Hello, Adil. Hi, Sai. How are you?
Yeah, good evening, sir. Nice to be back.
Nice to be back.
Been looking forward for this for a long, long time, and happy to see my guru back in action and sharing his knowledge with us.
No, I'm always in action. The market keeps you quiet. What can you do? See, the markets are the mother. You can't do much. You can't do much actually. 1 second. One client is calling. 1 second. Huh, Nareshi? Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true what you said, sir. And there are two sides of the coin. One side of the coin there is pain now, but on the other side of the coin there's opportunity also. So it's very opportune time for you to have this meeting too. Thank you for having it.
So basically now the results are out, and so we'll discuss all the points and everything. I think let's start. I think so people will join in some time. So I think so many people are still there. They're still joining. Because let's start the journey. So I'll give you some very interesting. Just a second. Just a second. Yeah. So let's start, friends. We want to share something very interesting. Vikas, next slide, please. Don't copy paste many things, just a request. Anyway, let's go. Vikas, next. No. Now, this has 6 factors which you will study in the next 4 days. इसमें नया एक factor है, the interest rate regime globally and in India. So we'll share one thing, where you can understand when the market will fall and when the market rises, because this is a very important thing we will study. Okay. We will also study in deep again, quality business score, ROE we always study. We have added the interest rate regime, which we had not added before. So this is the new area which you will learn. Momentum we have taught before also, valuation and also the risk factors. So ये 6 factor को we will be going to study in detail in the next 4 days. Okay. So this 6 we will be sharing this PPT with everyone. हम लोग ये PPT सबको share कर लेंगे group में. तो आपको you can study the PPT. You don't need to copy the PPT. The most important thing is understand all the 6 factors, because stock selection system is not very easy कि बस सिर्फ stock ले लिया. आपको you have to understand all the factors. कोई भी चीज जब हम खरीदते हैं, there are many things which affects the stock prices. Okay, so obviously to understand this is important, we will show you a video that why the interest rate regime or why the ROE is very, very important. कि stock prices move कैसे होती है, that is the prime thing which we need to study. So okay, so we'll start with the video. So you can study the video first. Because the interest rate video forum buffet. Let's get the factors easy and then we'll go in the details of each factor.
Generation, investing.
One is the improved return on equity, which was a fundamental factor that pushed stock prices up. 2 is the decline in interest rates that pushed stock prices up. And then finally, stock prices advancing themselves brings in buying. It doesn't go on forever, but it creates its own momentum to some extent if you have these underlying factors that started to push it along. So I would say 2 of the 3 factors are fundamental, and the third is a market type factor that bull markets do feed on themselves. And I think that you've seen some evidence of that. But I don't think that any specific, the 401k factor or whatever it may be was it by itself. But I do think money is pouring into mutual funds, for example, because.
Can you again show it, please? Again, थोड़ा पहले जाके थोड़ा दिखा सकते हैं. Let him ask the question properly. थोड़ा पहले जाके again. See the video again. It's a short video, but understand the 3 factors.
I would say that personally, I would not think that has much to do with it. I think the 2 big factors are, there's 3 big factors. One is the improved return on equity, which was a fundamental factor that pushed stock prices up. 2 is the decline in interest rates that pushed stock prices up. And then finally, stock prices advancing themselves brings in buying. It doesn't go on forever, but it creates its own momentum to some extent if you have these underlying factors that started to push it along. So I would say 2 of the 3 factors are fundamental, and the third is a market type factor that bull markets do feed on themselves. And I think that you've seen some evidence of that. But I don't think that any specific, the 401k factor or whatever it may be was it by itself. But I do think money is pouring into mutual.
Okay. I hope you understood the video. I'll repeat it for you. You guys can show me the first page. What he was trying to say, the question was, how does the stock prices move up and how does the stock prices move down? So what he said was improved return on equity. Okay, improved return on equity matlab जब भी company के profitability बढ़ती है, या टोटल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में प्रॉफिट बढ़ता है, the stock prices goes up. The second thing is the interest rate regime, where the stock prices move up, and the third is the momentum. ये तीन चीज के कारण stock prices ऊपर जाती है. Okay, so first understand the factor that stock prices ऊपर जाती कैसे. What makes the stock prices go up? Okay, so let's go back to Vikash, can we show अभी जो बनाया था ना वो जो profitability figure quarter by quarter. Because everybody has to understand when the stock prices goes up and when the stock prices goes down. Okay, now if you see why the just show the profits, Vikash. So अगर आप देखेंगे यहाँ पर टोटल नहीं किया होगा, टोटल था ना एक फाइल में. See what happened was, अगर आप देखेंगे March 20, because can I get a cursor to point out? Can you give me a cursor to point out? Okay, so this is March 20. Vikash, can you see my cursor? Okay, see the profit was 1 lakh crore, and then due to COVID 74,000. अगर आपको यहाँ ध्यान दोगा, यहाँ पर जो इंडिया पूरा वर्ल्ड में इंटरेस्ट रेट जीरो कर दिया गया. अमेरिका, इंडिया, the interest rate was zero. Okay, and there was a huge improvement in return on equity. मतलब profits बहुत जोर बढ़े थे सितंबर क्वार्टर में, and the interest rate regime was zero. तो यहाँ से मार्केट एक मोमेंटम पकड़ा था. So three factors which make the stock prices move up. The interest rate was down. There was improved return on equity. Profit बढ़ी थी पूरे इंडिया में and वर्ल्ड में, and there was a momentum buying. So इसको बोलते हैं when the stock prices goes up, the interest rate is in the benefit of the stock market. Now the question is what is happening right now. Now you will see we have to study the profit of June quarter, because all the problems globally started in February and March actually, most of the problems. So अगर आप देखिए the interest rate is going up right now. So because the interest rate is going up, the markets are going down. Okay, we'll show you the details. आपको आज भी रात को Fed rate है, you'll get a good understanding of that also. So the interest rate regime, what Warren Buffett is teaching us, कि जब भी वर्ल्ड में कोई पैनिक होता है, what does Fed do, या इंडिया में या वर्ल्ड में लोग क्या इंटरेस्ट रेट को एकदम जोर से गिरा देते हैं, and that is a huge benefit to the profits of the company and the stock market moves up. Right now what is happening is, अगर आप देखे होंगे 2 बार इंडिया में ऑलरेडी इंटरेस्ट रेट बढ़ चुका है, and the Fed का आज मीटिंग है, Fed is also going to increase their interest rate. So when the interest rate is going up, the stock market goes down. So this is what is happening right now. What Warren Buffett is saying, that what makes the stock prices move up and what makes the stock prices move down. Obviously the growth factor, the profitability factor is one. The second rate is interest regime, and third is momentum. अगर आप अभी देखेंगे, the momentum is on a downward cycle. The interest rate is going up. That is why we have the pain in the stock market right now. Okay, but एक जहां पर जाके interest rate डूब जाएगा and the interest would not further rise, we will see another renewed buying in the stock market. So please understand, interest rate plays a very, very important role. I'll show you the data. We got 3-month data of US and then India. अगर आपको interest rate देखना है, it's a very simple, you can see it in investing.com, the interest rate, the 3-month interest rate. If you can show the chart of 2 years, Vikash. See the interest rate. विकास 2 साल का दिखाएगा क्या एक बार प्लीज, या वीकली दिखा दो बेटर रहेगा. See what happened was, because I can't see the date. डेट नहीं दिख रहा विकार. आई कैन सी द डेट बाउंड प्लीज. नीचे का डेट दिखता है ना. आप दिख रहा है अब. नाउ आई कैन सी द डेट हियर. So if we go to 2020, see the interest rate was falling, right? और फिर एक interest rate जब falling market में, and then the market was absolutely stable. Now ये जैसे interest rate बढ़ रहा है ये, now the stock market is in a another big problem. Okay, so this is where the danger factor starts actually. ये this movement of the interest rate, जैसे इंटरेस्ट रेट बढ़ता है, the profitability of companies goes down. So that's a very big factor in the stock market. ये day to day देखने की दरकार नहीं. You just have to see it by every quarter. Don't do it on a daily basis. Please understand this. You have to understand that when the stock market interest rate is falling, what is the situation? When the interest rate rising, what is the situation? Now US is very important. इंडिया देख के नहीं होगा, आपको यूएस मार्केट पहले देखना पड़ेगा. विकास, कैन यू शो द यूएस मार्केट? सो 3 month इंटरेस्ट रेट देखते हैं. दैट इज द की एस्पेक्ट, बिकॉज जो इंटरेस्ट रेट बढ़ता गिरता है वो इससे बढ़ता है. आई एम जस्ट गिविंग यू एन अंडरस्टैंडिंग दैट व्हाट हैपेंस इन द स्टॉक मार्केट व्हेन द इंटरेस्ट रेट राइज एंड द इंटरेस्ट रेट रिड्यूसेस. सी व्हेन द ये जब जैसे ही ये टाइम क्या था विकास? जस्ट सो द टाइम यहाँ पर जोर से गिराया था. सो जब 17 फरवरी को जब कोविड आई थी, दे ड्रॉप द इंटरेस्ट रेट फ्रॉम 1.5 to 0. ओके, इतना जोर इंटरेस्ट रेट का बेनिफिट हुआ, इसलिए द स्टॉक मार्केट वेंट अप क्रेजीली. अब देखिए जब से इंटरेस्ट रेट बढ़ रहा है यहाँ से, विच इज अप्रोक्सीमेटली दे डिसाइडेड टू रेज from January, the markets are 6 months, the markets are in a very bad phase. Okay, अभी interest rate 1 है और अभी यहाँ पर दिखा रहा है 1.79. तो आज definitely 0.50 तो बढ़ाएगा ही. Fed rate 0.75 भी बढ़ा सकती है. So this is where you have to understand कि बाजार में तेजी कब आती है और बाजार में मंदी कब आती है. So once you study it, then you realize that where are we in the scheme of things. But this should plateau. इसका जो historical है, अगर आप देखेंगे, अगर ये एक बार 2-2.5% में जाके रुक जाएगा, and if the growth continues, then again the stock market will have its own course. Okay, this एक बार जब ये interest rate बढ़ता है, so all the profitability, everything changes. So we will study that how we will make money from the June quarter results. में क्या डिफरेंस होने वाला है वो हम लोग अभी आपको डिस्कस करेंगे. ओके, सो दिस इज व्हाट वॉरेन बफेट वाज सेइंग, द स्टॉक प्राइसेस मूव अप बाय द इंटरेस्ट रेट. द सेकंड इज ROE, व्हिच वी विल डिस्कस इन डिटेल. ओके, द बेस्ट पार्ट इज इंडिया का ROE दिखाओ विकास. दिस इज अ very गुड साइन व्हिच आई वांट टू शेयर विद यू. इंडिया का जो प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी है, हाँ यही फाइल बेटा, इट वाज द राइट फाइल. इंडिया का प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी है, फिर गड़बड़ हो गया. सेल हटा देना विकास प्लीज. या 3 लाख करोड़ है प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी. सो इंडिया प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी इज स्टिल राइजिंग. दैट मीन्स वी स्टिल हैव एन इम्प्रूव्ड ROE. सो दिस डेफिनेटली कहीं ना कहीं जाके जैसे इंटरेस्ट रेट स्टेबलाइज होगा, ओके, द मार्केट विल अगेन स्टार्ट गोइंग अप. इट्स ऑलरेडी 9 months of downfall. And we have never seen stock market एक बार 2000 में देखा था, but if you even study 2008 का chart, because 2008 monthly chart, 2008 monthly chart, I'll just show you Nifty. Monthly लगा ले तो easy हो जाएगा. Go to 2008. ये कितना महीना था देख लीजिए. विकास, can you count the months please? आवाज क्लियर नहीं है विकास. I'll count it for you. 1 2 3 4. विकास आवाज क्लियर नहीं है तेरा. क्लियर नहीं है विकास. Don't speak. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. 10 ही महीना बाजार गिरा था. And right now we are already in the 9th month. Okay, इसीलिए don't lose patience. 10 महीना ही मैक्सिमम. जब 2008 में इतना बड़ा फंडामेंटल क्राइसिस हुआ था, वहां पर भी मार्केट 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 और वही 2-3 महीना पड़ा हुआ था. बाजार गिरना बंद हो गया था. 2-3 महीना बाजार पड़ा था, then it started rising. So okay, so I think so there will be a time where we may have another 1 month or 2 months pain, but again the market will definitely rise. This is the worst period जो 2008 में हुई थी. Okay, अभी का विकास दिखा दें मंथली चार्ट. अभी show the current monthly chart. Okay, so मार्केट में ऑलरेडी अगर आप देखेंगे तो मार्केट 3-4 महीने से कोई नया लो नहीं बनाया. हो सकता है अभी फेड रेट और थोड़ा लो बना दे, बट 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 मंथ्स ऑलरेडी मार्केट में हो चुका है. So I'm just showing you history, giving you confidence कैसा होता है बाजार में. डीप करेक्शन है, बट अगर अपने समझदारी से काम करेंगे मार्केट राइज करेगा. सो गुड मनी इज मेड. सो व्हेनेवर ये जो बड़ा तेजी आया था, देयर वाज डेफिनेटली अ ह्यूज करेक्शन. देखिए यहाँ पर भी जब जोर से मंदी आई थी, मार्केट अगेन वेंट अप. यहाँ पर एक बार आएगा एंड मार्केट आई थिंक सो विल गो अप इन अ वेरी वेरी बिग वे. सो आई एम जस्ट शोइंग यू द पिक्चर where not giving you anything. I'm showing you from data so that markets will always keeps going up. Vikas, can you show the week monthly chart of 20 years together? थोड़ा छोटा कर दे. Yeah, if you see, बस नहीं इतना छोटा ना, बस दिखते रहे. देखिए मार्केट कंटिन्यूस. निफ्टी जो था अगर आप देखेंगे हिस्ट्री, 1000 से ऑलरेडी 15000 है. बाजार गिरता है, ऐसा नहीं है. मेरे को देना कर्सर का पावर. विकास, गिव मी कर्सर. या अगर आप देखेंगे बाजार गिरा था 1 2 3 4, लेकिन 1000 का निफ्टी और 19000 हो गया. ऑब्वियसली बाजार कभी भी कंटिन्यूस नहीं बढ़ता रहता, ऐसा कभी हुआ नहीं है. इतना शार्प रिटर्न मार्केट दिया है, सो देयर विल बी सम पेन. But if you keep on holding the right stocks and you keep on investing in the right strategy, you keep on holding it, again the market will go up and again the market will make new highs. ये last 20 साल का history है. So short term में अगर आप बाजार, if you are a trader or a short term player, I'm sorry, but if you're a long term player, you will again make money. But make sure that you're always in good stocks and not buying penny stocks or which I have never recommended. Okay, so please make sure that markets from 1000 has become 19,000. It has given a correction and it will again go up. अब ये जो हो सकता है 2-3 महीना का और पेन हो, but again the market will go up. Okay, so this is the first understanding, giving you confidence that this happens all the time. यहाँ पर 10 महीना बाजार गिरा, फिर यहाँ गिरा, फिर यहाँ गिरा, फिर ये कोविड का टाइम था, which was a great opportunity. अभी भी ये है, but यहाँ पर now अब आपका हिम्मत खत्म हो रहा होगा. So this is where, if you see from October, November, we have been telling you to sell off all high portfolio. जितने भी high IV थे सबको बेच दीजिए. So अगर जो लोग अपने high valuation stocks, anything above 8-10 PS ratio के stocks बेच दिए थे, they were all very very happy. Okay. So this is what we need to learn, is that the market keeps going up. Okay, let's go back to the slide, Vikas. Okay, so the interest rate regime, अभी बाजार में थोड़ा पेन है क्योंकि the interest rate regime is going up. Okay, so this should, US should also stop at about 2.5. अभी 1.75 शायद आज रात को ही हो जाएगा, अभी 1.78 दिखाई रहा है. So there might be some pain, but once it stabilizes at 2.5, the market will normalize. So that is one thing which you need to understand, कि कभी भी interest rate regime बढ़ता है, markets will have a pressure on the stock prices. Okay, and this is not by me, and that is why I wanted to show you a video that Warren Buffett also says the same thing. Interest rate definitely affects the stock prices. Okay, the efficiency of management, return on equity, as I said, India is doing very well. India is doing very well on the return on equity. Okay, now the factors which I keep on hearing, let's go back to the first factor, the growth factor, and let's decide that अभी हम लोग जो strategy दिए हैं, which we will discuss, why the growth factors are important. So we will study all the 6 factors in detail. So let's go to the growth factor first. Before we show you the growth factor, now you see this guy has been making money for 50 years. The 6 principles is the same principle which we follow. Large purchases definitely fits on the sales point. The sales growth is very important. Demonstrated consistent earning power. We have to definitely study the profit growth, good returns on equity, which we are another factor, little or no debt, which is the risk factor, and the offering price, the valuation. So if you can understand these factors, अगर आप ये हर factor को समझेंगे, जब भी आप market में decide कर सकते हैं. शायद वो valuation का factor ready है क्या? 19th October. आवाज तेरा क्लियर नहीं है. One second, just a second. या मैं विकास के पास गया था उसका आवाज ठीक करने के लिए. Something was wrong. Sorry about that. So basically I'm showing you that if you just understand the main stock selection criteria जो हम लोग follow करते हैं, and be patient, you will make money. Okay, if you have invested in bad shares which I have not recommended, so that is your problem. I can't help you in that. If you have invested in any bad shares from other people, that is a big problem. Even our portfolios have not eroded in the last 3 months. Even if you have invested in our portfolio, which we launched on 20th February, the performance has not been bad. We have lost only about 5-6%. In large cap and एक दो share में तो we only lost 1 or 2%. So if you had invested in a good portfolio, growth लेना है, सस्ता लेना है, you would not have lost big money. We had 1 or 2 wrong shares, like we bought BCG, and we bought, I think so the valuation was very high, which we bought PharmEasy. Apart from this, the portfolio has done very well. Okay, so that is why I realized that if you buy portfolios, that is much better than investing in individual stocks. That is why we have been really telling you that for selection of portfolio, when you have 10 sectors, you have bought a portfolio, it works better. I wanted to show you that these are the principles of the stock market, and if you stick to the fundamentals, the main fundamentals हैं, अगर आप उस पे स्टिक करेंगे, स्टॉक मार्केट बढ़ेगा, आपकी जो भी स्टॉक्स लिए सबके दाम बढ़ जाएंगे. बट इफ इट इज नॉट इन दिस क्राइटेरिया, जो मैं बार बार बोलता हूँ, प्लीज चेक आपका शेयर में सेल्स ग्रोथ है कि नहीं, प्रॉफिट ग्रोथ है कि नहीं, वेदर द वैल्यूएशंस आर करेक्ट और नॉट, व्हिच आई विल अगेन रिपीट इन द नेक्स्ट 4 days. अगर वो स्टॉक्स आपके गलत हैं, आप देख लीजिएगा वही सबसे ज्यादा गिरे हैं. लेकिन अगर वो क्राइटेरिया में अच्छे हैं, तो वो स्टॉक ज्यादा आपको कम गिरे होंगे डेफिनेटली, बट वो कम गिरे कंपैरेटिवली. Okay, तो stick to the fundamentals. ये मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, ये वॉरेन बुफे का वेबसाइट पे दिया हुआ है. अगेन अनिता, show them the website. मैं आपको वेबसाइट पे जाके दिखाता हूँ डायरेक्टली. That this is not by me but by Warren Buffett. So we are going back to the basics. Basics strong hoga, fundamental strong hoga, you will make money. But if the basics are weak, then you'll have a huge problem. So I'm going to show you, I've talked to Berkshire Hathaway. So I'm showing you live that ये जो लिया हुआ है उसके annual report से लिया, which Warren Buffett releases. So this is the page 25. ये मैंने नहीं बनाया है. He has shown that he follows these criteria. He sees ROE, profit growth, sales growth, valuation. Okay, and overall he sees the interest rate regime, whether it is going up and whether it is going down. If the interest rate regime is going down, he's invested. When the interest rate goes up, he books profit if the valuations are very high. Okay, so if you can understand the thought process of a person, then only the market will not be in a very bad situation. अगर आपको याद होगा कि इस ग्रुप में मैंने 1 February को सबको बुलाया था and मैंने warn भी किया था that the markets are looking very bad in February. That was 1 February. So I don't know how many people attended that session. और मैंने उस समय भी बोला था markets are looking very bad. But again investor mindset है, इसलिए मैंने ज्यादा investor को छुआ नहीं. Because some of them were getting very hyper कि बाजार इतना गिरेगा. You know. So we said, then we started in the trading mechanism. We said आप देख लीजिए, but जो data आ रहा है, the interest rate regime was not looking good in the stock market. Okay, that is why in the 20th February stocks, we really reduced the valuation of each stock. हम लोग growth लिए और सस्ता लिए, so that हम लोग का portfolio में ज़्यादा गिरावट नहीं. We do not lose less in the portfolio. That was the main aim. Okay, so these are very important principles जो मैं आपको दिखाना चाहता हूँ. These principles are also followed by Ramdev Agarwal. I'll show you also. Vikas, can you show that? Any great manager follows the same principles. इसलिए मैं चाह रहा हूँ कि आपका fundamentals should be very clear in your head. That how stock prices goes up or how the stock prices goes down.
TV18.
ये क्या दिखा रहे हैं? ये नहीं बेटा, ये नहीं अभी नहीं. उसका हमको LP regards QGLP right now. Not this. I will come to ROE later.
Okay.
We are just reminding you the fundamentals, huh? So that you don't lose your patience or if you are right at the fundamentals, you'll make money. So again, same thing by Ramdev Agarwal, quality business, growth, जो मैं बार-बार बोलता हूँ, price, valuation. Okay, quality is always ROE. So if you study his mechanism, ROE, growth, valuation. Okay, these are very, very important factors in stock selection. Okay, Vikas, go back to the 6 factors. So growth, इसका हम लोग अभी detailed study करेंगे. ROE very important and valuation, 3 चीज. Okay, now risk also from Warren Buffett, interest rate regime also from Warren Buffett. Okay, and momentum also. So ये पूरा चीज को हम लोग कैसे use कर सकते हैं? How we can use this to make a great stock selection portfolio and understand entry and exit. Okay, so this is the 6 factors which should look always in your mind, because this affects the stock prices to go up or the stock prices to go down. So we are focusing more on those points which makes the stock prices move up and the stock prices move down. The point number 3 is more of a economy problem. So when the inflation rises, they have to increase the interest rate. Interest rate rises, the profitability of the company will go down and the prices go down. When the interest rate is down, जो COVID में उन्होंने किया था, their interest rate cost, they had again the profits went up and the market went up. Okay, so this is how the interest rate plays a big role. Okay, so we'll study growth also. We'll study growth. Vikas, Saurav Mukherjee, growth on growth.
Yes.
So these are some of the people. We'll share with you the entire PPT so that you can study the PPT on your own also. So ये इतना सारा जो अभी हम लोग सब discuss करने वाला है in the next 4 days. Because I think so people have to go back to the fundamentals. He's just showing you हम लोग क्या-क्या cover करेंगे, but you know. Yeah, so if you see Saurav Mukherjee, this is from his book actually. So again, he sees ROE and sales growth. So he only sees two things and he's managing what 8,000, 10,000 crore rupees. So why I'm showing you from all areas that jitne bhi intelligent log hain wo dekhte hain. So from today, I will request you after the session, go back and check which company has ROE greater than 15. Which companies have growth, because all the March results have come. If they have no growth, their ROE is not above 15, then be careful in the market. You have to be careful in those stocks. Because बाजार बढ़ेगा भी, तो पहले वो सब स्टॉक में बाइंग नहीं आने वाला. बाइंग आएगा उसी स्टॉक में जिसका ROE इंप्रूव्ड है, जिससे प्रॉफिट ग्रोथ है, जिसमें सेल ग्रोथ, क्योंकि वैल्यूएशन काफी सस्ते हो गए मार्केट में. तो जो भी कंपनी ग्रोथ करेगी, स्पेशली मैं आपको अभी बता रहा हूँ, एनी कंपनी जिसका रिजल्ट्स 10 जुलाई से आने लगेगा, which is another 20 about a month समझ लीजिए. 10-11 जुलाई से जो रिजल्ट्स आएंगे, तो जो भी कंपनी में रिजल्ट्स अच्छे आएंगे, because April to June has been very tough because of the high interest rate, because of the war, because of low demand, many stocks have suffered. But जिसका भी रिजल्ट्स 10 जुलाई से अच्छा आएगा, those stocks are going to be marvelously going up. Even if the stock market goes down, those stocks will go up because they have done something remarkable in the last 3 months. Okay, so we will also try to catch some stocks जिसका results अच्छा आने का chances है जून में by catching the March results. So we'll also study forwards. So किसका result अच्छा आ सकता है, which companies may do well, which sectors will do well in this high interest rate scenario. Okay, so that is also going to be a big factor. So I'm just showing you the proof that growth ROE plays a very important role. I'll show you another video on ROE so that the fundamentals are very clear. Because ROE first, Warren Buffett video on ROE. Is it good, everybody? Can I get a yes, no? Is it good to remind you of your is it good to remind you of your fundamentals?
Yeah, of course, definitely.
Karthik, so that we have more trust, huh? क्योंकि सब बड़े लोग ऐसे ही सोचते हैं.
No, सच्ची बात है. We should always keep going back to grounds and basics.
Okay, so let's go back to the fundamentals. Yeah. Okay, so let's study the video so that we अच्छा ये आदमी बोल रहा है तो सही बोल रहा होगा. We'll show you the video.
Enthused about those stocks as being any kind of obvious bargains than the people that you read about in OID. The returns on equity in most areas of Japanese business, returns on equity are very low, and it's extremely difficult to get rich by being the owner of a business that earns a low return on equity. We always look at what a business does in terms of what it earns on capital. We want to be in good businesses. What we really want to be is in businesses that are going to be good businesses and better businesses 10 years from now. and we want to buy them at a reasonable price. But many years ago, we gave up what I've labeled the cigar butt approach to investing, which is where you try and find a really kind of pathetic company, but it sells so cheap that you think there's one good free puff left in it. We used to pick up a lot of soggy cigar butts. I mean, I had a portfolio full of them, and there were free puffs in them. I mean, I made money out of that. But A, it doesn't work with big money anyway, and B, we don't find many cigar butts around that we would be attracted to. But those are the companies that have low returns on equity. And if you have a business that's earning 5 or 6% on equity, and you hold it for a long time, you are not going to do well in investing, even if you buy it cheap to start with. Time is the enemy of the poor business, and it's the friend of the great business. I mean, if you have a business that's earning 20 or 25% on equity, and it does that for a long time, time is your friend. But time is your enemy if you have your money in a low return business, and you may be lucky enough to pick the exact moment when it gets taken over by someone else, but we like to think when we buy a stock we're going to own it for a very long time, and therefore we have to stay away from businesses that have low returns on equity. Charlie?
Thank you. So stay away from businesses which has low return on equity. Have you checked all your stocks? That is the equity above 20 or 15, 20? Please check all your stocks. Please mark the homework which you need to do. जितने भी stocks हैं आपके पास low return on equity, check. So that is why we have to see the profit growth. Profit growth से return on equity बनती है, which we'll go in details. So I'm just going through the factors so that you understand that what are the basics first. Okay? Because to the front page. Okay, so I'll show you the video of Ramdev Agarwal also on return on equity. So पहले मैंने आपको दिखाया growth, सब लोग देखते हैं. I'm also showing you return on equity के 2 videos. Interest rate design मैंने आपको दिखा दिए already. Okay, then I'll show you 2 more videos. Vikas, can you show the video of? Okay, we'll show that video later. Vikas, can you show the video of Nilesh and then Madhusudan Kela?
Okay.
Because ROE and valuation, these are videos important for valuation. Please study why valuation is important, because अगर high valuation share रखेंगे और बाजार गिरेगा तो बजाज फाइनेंस भी नहीं बचेगा. We had told many people to exit Bajaj Finance at 7,000, 7,500. Please exit. Divi's Lab exit because they were very high valuation. We're just reminding you of the basics, then we'll go on the details.
Have created tremendous value for investors. So don't invest for the sake of investing for novelty value. Invest based on your research. Buy what is cheap, sell what is expensive.
All right, Nilesh, we just have under 2 minutes left, and now there's a rapid fire coming your way. So you have to quickly answer whatever comes to your mind. Couple of questions. Here's the first one. What would you say has been your biggest lesson in the stock market?
Buy quality, quality, and quality.
Okay, the most important filter, Nilesh, while selecting a stock?
Governance, governance, governance.
Okay, a key ratio, any financial metric that is your go-to ratio while you're selecting a stock company?
Company should earn more than the cost of capital reflected in return on capital employed, and it should generate free cash flow.
The best stock pick of your career?
which is going to build this business. Third thing, which you look at, what is the competitive advantage, or in more sophisticated language we call it a moat. So what is the competitive advantage which the company is bringing on the table to build this business? And then there are plethoras financial statistics which you'll use. Someone will use ABCD. I use free cash flow, I use ROE, and I use essential, how cheap the stock is. And finally, at the end of the day, Anuj, it is all about valuation. That, let me just give you an example. All of this was available in Infosys in 2001. Only thing which was not available was the price. So if you have everything else, but price is not by your side, you can do whatever analysis which you want to, but you will not make outsized returns.
Sure. Madhu.
So friends, basics, ROE, free cash flow, valuation, go back to again. आप जब भी stock खरीदते हैं, I don't know how, I hope most of you are investing in our strategies, but if you're buying stocks, do you see these factors? Because this is what the great people see. अगर आप ये सब factor देखते हैं कि नहीं देखते हैं? So if you see these factors, then you will not be investing in wrong stocks ever. Okay, so these factors are highly important. और ये मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, वर्ल्ड के जो इंडिया के बिगेस्ट माइंड्स हैं वो ये पॉइंट बोल रहे हैं. Okay, Vikas, can we go back to the 6 factors? Okay, so we have covered valuation, we have covered ROE. Okay, momentum we covered from Warren Buffett's video, risk we covered. So these are the points जो आपको देखना है again and again to understand कि मेरा वो stock का क्या कहानी है. Where is that stock? Okay, we will teach you. We will teach everything, Prakash ji. We are अभी आपको overview दे रहे हैं. अभी आपको overview दे रहे हैं. We are going to overview that what are we going to cover in 4 days. Okay, so valuation भी हम लोग कैसे देखते हैं stocks का. Vikas, did you get the valuation 19th October? Is it ready?
No, sir. Getting it. In Excel, na? Excel. Yeah.
October current valuation.
Yeah. Getting it.
थोड़े दिन पहले भी अर्नब भी बनाया था वो valuation.
हाँ, देख.
So let's go back to the Vikas. जब तक PPT खोल दो, I'll study the PPT. Let's go back to the basics. Okay. Now go forward, Vikas. Next slide. Next slide. Okay. So universal truth, stock market में अब आपको वापस से डिसाइड करना है कौन से स्टॉक्स में ग्रोथ आएगा. तो अगर मार्च क्वार्टर में भी हम लोग स्टडी करेंगे कुछ स्टॉक्स, बट जून, बिकॉज अप्रैल में जून हैज बीन वेरी टफ ऑन मेनी कंपनीज, सो द रियल मनी वेयर मनी विल बी मेड इज फ्रॉम 10th of July. 10 जुलाई के बाद हम लोग रोज 5 बजे आपको बताते रहेंगे किसमें ग्रोथ आ रहा है. सो समझ में आ जाएगा कि उसको द वॉर एनीथिंग हैज नॉट अफेक्टेड दोस कंपनीज, दैट हाई इंटरेस्ट रेट हैज नॉट अफेक्टेड दोस कंपनीज एंड दे आर स्टिल डूइंग वेल. Okay, so already that will be possible from 10th of July in a more detailed manner, and 10th of July तक 10 महीना भी हो जाएगा. So 10th of July से I think so once the new results come in, if we start investing in those stocks, money will be made in a very big way. Okay, so growth for a business is essentially an expansion, making the company bigger, increasing its market, ultimately making it more profitable. Measuring growth is possible by looking at some important statistics: overall sales, staff, market share, turnover, profits of the company. Okay, though the present profitability of a company may be good, opportunities for growth should always be explored, since they offer opportunities for growth, greater role of profitability, and keeps the analyst. on current investors interested in the company. So अभी इतना बड़ा tough environment हुआ है because of the war and high interest rate, and उसके बाद भी जो भी company अपना sales growth करेगा या profit growth करेगा, and markets are already, valuations are very very attractive right now in the market, so those companies में हमें बहुत जल्दी jump in करना है. Okay, which obviously हम लोग तो strategy बनाएंगे, but you have to have the clarity that where money can be made. To be successful and remain in business, both profitability, growth are important and necessary for a company to survive, remain attractive to investors and analysts. Profitability, of course, critical to a company's existing, but growth is crucial for long-term survival. एक बहुत important चीज है sir, stock prices are slaves to the profit growth of the company. Okay, तो stock prices कैसे कैसे move करती है? Stock prices definitely move by the growth. अभी high interest rate regime के कारण बाजार down है. So this is an external factor. But जो भी stocks अभी अच्छा growth करेगा, they will survive even the interest rate because the products are good in the market. Okay, so never forget growth. Growth is the key aspect. जो भी companies में 20%, 30% growth हो रहा है, those are the greatest companies. Always remember. Okay, because stock prices moves with growth. Next slide, Vikash. Sales and revenue related. Sales plays a key role in building loyalty and trust between the customer business. Sir, माल बिकेगा जब ही profit आएगा. तो एक tough environment है. We have a tough environment. कौन सा company sales कर पा रहा है या कौन सा company growth कर पा रहा है इस market में भी. Okay, जब COVID का time आया था, we saw Apple. There are many companies जो बहुत massive growth किया था. You know, BCG also went through a massive growth because everything became digital and the stock prices went up. So this is how you have to check the growth of the company. Okay, when the product is good, the customer tends to recommend a friend, give positive feedback. So everything runs on feedback, everything runs on recommendation. So जब कोई कंपनी का प्रोडक्ट अच्छा है और ग्रोथ कर रहा है, वो कंपनी की दाम बढ़ेगी. ये ध्यान रखिएगा. वो टेम्पररी एक बार डाउन होगा, जैसे इंटरेस्ट रेट स्टेबलाइज होगा, सबसे पहले वो कंपनी का दाम बढ़ जाएगा. So keep an eye on companies with high sales growth, high profit growth. Okay, organizations with aligned sales and marketing functions tend to be strategic and big picture oriented. In other words, they get the long-term value by planning, promoting, and enabling alignment. The company amplifies the impact of both marketing and sales activities. So if they can have a great marketing, they have a great distribution network. तो बहुत companies हैं जिसके market share बहुत अच्छे हैं. So sales and marketing rally around a big picture view of how to generate revenue. They work together, and this is how the company's profitability. Sales growth very important, friends. ये ध्यान करिए. Okay, next slide. मैं आपको एक तो हिस्ट्री दिखाता हूँ. हर बार कुछ ना कुछ हुआ. 2016 में डिमोनेटाइजेशन हुआ, 2017 में जीएसटी हुआ, कैपिटल गेन टैक्स हुआ, कोविड हुआ. दाम बढ़ता है सर. अभी थोड़ा इंटरेस्ट रेट डिजाइन बढ़ रहा है, बट जो भी कंपनी में सेल्स ग्रोथ होता रहेगा, वो आपको ठीक रिटर्न दे देगा. वो जब निकलेगा 20-30% बहुत फास्ट निकल जाएगा. So keep on companies which has great sales growth. और अगर मार्च में उसका ग्रोथ खराब हुआ है या प्रॉफिट ग्रोथ खराब हुआ है, so we need to exit those companies. Okay, so every year कुछ ना कुछ मार्केट में होता ही है इकोनॉमी में. That is part. This is how all the weak investors सब निकल जाते हैं. Who are short-term players, they all leave the market, and all the big players, smart players enter the market. This is how the markets are. Okay, next slide, Vikash. एक बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग अगर आप देखेंगे, 10% स्केल ग्रोथ वाले कंपनीज हैं कितने 5 साल, जो हर साल 10% की, ओनली 58 और 60-70 कंपनीज. तो ज्यादा कंपनीज ग्रोथ नहीं कर पाते हैं, फ्रेंड्स. दैट इज व्हाई ग्रोथ propels the stock prices. Next slide. Sales growth increases market share. So market share is a percentage of total sales of an industry. इसीलिए हम लोग बोलते हैं sectors की जो top companies हैं, who has the market share in the market. जैसे blood में अगर आप देखेंगे लालपत लैब, Apollo Hospital, they have the highest market share in the healthcare. Okay, so जो भी वे top companies हैं, जिसके भी top sales growth है, जिसका market share सबसे ऊपर है, वो share हमें फिर से लेना है. Because now their valuations all have become very, very cheap. We will study the good stocks of each sector, जो अच्छे जिसमें growth भी है और अभी सस्ता भी हो गया. Okay, so this is how our strategy is built up. हम लोग के जो strategies हम लोग बनाते हैं, इसी foundation basis पे बनाते हैं. Okay, so market share refers to that percentage of a market owned by a company. In other words, the company's market share is total sales. 25% market share है, 30% market share है. So this is how those companies do very, very well. Next slide. Benefits of market share, जिसके पास भी अच्छा market share होगा. Okay, this is also available in the app. If you go in the detail, वो company का कितना market share है, कौन से में वो आपको मिल जाता है. Okay, economies of scale. जब भी कंपनी का बड़ा मार्केट शेयर है, it is easy to expand further because everybody knows उसका sales growth हो रहा है, so more distributors try to sell the products. Asian Paints continuously they increase the market share. Why? और नए-नए distributors आते रहते हैं. Increase sales जो मैंने discuss किया, increase customer base, the reputation increases in the market, they dominate the industry, and they have increased bargaining power. So whenever you have any company with a great market share, those companies like Astral, Asian Paints, Abbott, they have a great market share in the market. So they really, really make sure that Reliance, they control the market. So these companies with growth and Sasta is the secret. Next slide. I'll just show you some history. 95 में Amazon का सेल $1 million था. 7 साल उसने पैसा भी नहीं कमाया, but his sales was continued. 4 billion का सेल हो गया. सोचिए 3,900 from 1 million. See the sales growth. हर साल 20, 30, 40%. और कहाँ इसकी भाव बढ़ती रही. It became a $2 trillion company. तो sales growth जिस कंपनी का ये चार्ट बना हुआ रहता है, those companies have a great return. इसीलिए I show you the 5-year sales track record in QBS कि लास्ट 5 साल का सेल्स को ट्रैक करिए, कौन से कंपनीज में 5 साल में अच्छा सेल्स हो रहा है. ओके, नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. सबका ये हिस्ट्री दिखेगा. ये प्रॉफिट्स का है. सेल्स के बाद प्रॉफिट्स भी कंपनी जनरेट करता है तो और अच्छा हो जाता है. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड विकास. दिस इज द रेवेन्यू ग्रोथ. कंटिन्यूस सेल्स बढ़े जा. सेम थिंग विद एप्पल, कंटिन्यूस सेल्स ग्रोथ. तो कोई भी अगर जैसे बजाज फाइनेंस है, अब वो सस्ता हो रहा है धीरे धीरे, वापस आपको 5,000 में 8,000 का चीज अब 5,000 में मिल रहा है, 5,200-300 में आ रहा है. तो आप वो चीज सस्ते हो रहे हैं. ओके, बजाज फाइनेंस के अगर आप वैल्यूएशन देखेंगे, 15 का प्राइस टू सेल्स अभी 10 पे आ गया ऑलरेडी, एंड अभी भी शेयर में ग्रोथ है. तो नेक्स्ट टाइम अगेन बजाज फाइनेंस बिकम माय फेवरेट. जैसे मैंने एग्जिट किया था 7,000-7,500 में, अब मैं फिर से आज एंट्री बोल रहा हूँ कि बजाज फाइनेंस में फिर से एंट्री करनी चाहिए. धीरे धीरे इट्स अ गुड टाइम टू एक्यूमुलेट बजाज फाइनेंस, बिकॉज अभी भी शेयर में ग्रोथ है और अभी भी शेयर सस्ता हो गया है. It has shown continuous growth for 10 years. We can just show the QBS of Bajaj Finance 5 years. Here's QBS of Bajaj Finance. This has always been my favorite share. मैंने 7-7.5 में सबको एग्जिट दिया था. बहुत लोग ग्रुप में थे, बजाज फाइनेंस कैसे बेचें. प्राइस टू सेल उस समय उसकी 15 की थी, अगर किसको सबको याद होगा. But you see, the company is having a 19-20% growth. The company और इस साल तो highest profitability declare किया, and forwards भी कितना अच्छा है देखिए. Okay, so there is a huge growth which is happening in Bajaj Finance. So the price to sales have become decent now. Also, thoda sa it will be expensive hai, but now it is not so expensive compared to it. So if the June results of Bajaj Finance is good, which will come by 20th of July, within 1 month we'll get a new result of Bajaj Finance. If they've still done well, I'm sure itna acha nahi aayega result because the interest rate is high. So when the interest rate is high, financial companies suffer in the profitability. But again, if they are able to perform despite of high interest rates, then it's a great buy, I'm telling you. It's going to be a great buy. 20th, 25th July, their results will come in. And if you further, it goes down to 4,500 or something, it's a greatest buy. Huh? So please understand, because you will not get such a great share at such a cheap price. So बहुत ही अच्छा आपको इससे मिल रहा है ये. You are getting at a very, from 1600 went to 8,000 and now again it is down valuation. So एक बार ये 4276 में भी गया था ये. So it looks like a very, good share. Huh? थोड़ा अभी भी expensive है, 10 price to sales, थोड़ा expensive है, but still good. But it will really be good if they can survive 3 months of high interest rate. If they've been able to do high sales growth, but the way the stock prices are right now, it clearly shows that the July results will not be so good. But again, they have been outperforming for many, years. Okay, so price from 400 rupees had go to 8,000 because there was continuous growth, and they're still having a 20% growth. Okay, so there are many shares like this. If you search now, it is good time to go in the app, study the shares, discuss in the group, make a list, wait for the July results, and then put money into it. Okay, that is how you can make big money. We got to go back to the PPT. Apple sales similar. I'm just showing you that why sales and profit बहुत बार तेजी मंदी आई है stock market में. Tesla has become the richest guy in the world. Again, continuous sales growth. Company was not making money, but sales growth was happening in such a big way, and the products are so expensive. Now they are into profits also. We got next slide. So profit, same. See, I always prefer to buy a company which has sales growth and profit growth, like Share India, which I had recommended. Okay, Share India results will not be so good in July or August. They'll probably declare in first week of August, because the stockbrokers, all the stockbrokers, the profitability is down. I'm telling you in advance. Angel One, we have given that Angel One of the share in one of the strategies, but all the stockbrokers, they will suffer in April to June, because the stock markets have really hit them big way. New margining system. So whenever the markets are down in such a big way, the stock market profitability really gets hit. So be careful with stock market stocks. July, August results will not be good in stock market stocks. So profit related to growth, very important, because जिस company में profits and sales growth दोनों होता है, उसी में मैं आपको बोलूंगा invest करने की. Yeah, I think so. We can, because it should not be very good, and it's still at a very good price actually right now. So we can book some profits. Okay, so retained earnings, profitability and growth go hand in hand. The business growth, owner's income. So जो भी companies में sales growth है and profit growth है, like Bajaj Finance, Share India, there are many companies like this if you go in the app. Okay, it is a fantastic thing. I don't know many people, because can you show in the app the slide, the high growth, low valuation stocks? Because can you show in the app? I don't know how many people have used it, but they should definitely use this. ये देखिए, नहीं फ्रंट पेज दिखा दे बेटा, जल्दी हो गया, फ्रंट पेज नहीं दिखा. फ्रंट पेज में आ जाए एक बार, फ्रंट पेज से आ जाए वापस से. ये वाला हाई ग्रोथ लो वैल्यूएशन स्टॉक्स, इसका स्टडी करिए. पुट इन द ग्रुप, लेट द ग्रुप अगेन. बाजार पहले जब बाजार तेज था तो ग्रुप में बहुत मैसेजेस आते थे, अब सब सो गए. मे बी आफ्टर दिस सेशन लेट्स प्रैक्टिस फॉर 1 month. वी हैव द रिजल्ट्स आउट. फाइंड आउट सम हाई ग्रोथ स्टॉक्स. विकास क्लिक. इसको हम लोग ने बहुत इजी कर दिया है. If you just click the large cap, you will get all the large cap stocks जिसमें highest growth हुआ है. Okay, we have shown about 30 stocks. We can just select the mid cap. Large cap हटा दे. In mid cap में we have given at least how many companies? About 39 companies. एक एक को स्टडी करिए, ज्यादा टाइम नहीं लगेगा. किसमें कौन से शेयर में ग्रोथ हो रही है, क्या हो रही है. In small cap, we have given about there's a lot of companies in small cap, 132 companies जिसमें growth हो रहा है जोर से. So we should study कौन से companies में क्या हो रही है. It has been beautifully made for you guys. Then you have the small cap mini, where you can pick up small penny stocks. इसमें थोड़े कम रहते हैं. इसमें कितने companies हैं? About 66 companies are there. तो अगर कोई आएगा तो बहुत अच्छा ग्रोथ हो सकता है, आपको बहुत अच्छा मिल सकता है इसमें. सो 150-200 कंपनी को मेहनत करिए. हम लोग तो अपना मेहनत करके आपको स्ट्रेटजी दिए हैं. एंड देन इफ यू जस्ट वांट टू बाय F&O स्टॉक्स, you have to click everything. विकास है इसमें लार्ज मिड स्मॉल सबको क्लिक करना पड़ेगा. So ये F&O है एक्चुअली. F&O में अप्रोक्सीमेटली 55 स्टॉक्स आते हैं जिसमें बहुत ग्रोथ हो रहा है. तो स्टडी अबाउट दीज आर अबाउट 200 स्टॉक्स जिसमें मैसिव ग्रोथ हुआ है मार्केट में. यू शुड स्टडी ईच स्टॉक, क्यों ग्रोथ हो रहा है मार्केट में, कौन से सेक्टर से है. सो वंस यू स्टार्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग इट, एंड नाउ द वैल्यूएशंस आर क्वाइट चीप, सो आपको बहुत बड़ा बेनिफिट मिलेगा. So it is readily available for you. You just have to slightly work hard on individual stocks. So agar this is the right time to change your existing portfolio to this portfolio, you need to have the guts to book profits and move on to these stocks. The next time जब बाजार तेज होगा, इसी में से कोई कंपनी आपको बहुत बड़ा रिटर्न देने वाला है. मैं अभी आपको बता देता हूँ. सबसे ज्यादा रिटर्न यही आपको स्टॉक्स देंगे, because they are the growth stocks of the company. It is readily available. Let's work hard on this. We have made it easy for you to study all the growth stocks at one page. Okay, like let's study one stock. Just let's study Persistent. We guys click Persistent. Or Tata Steel, yeah. अब देखिए कंपनी 22% का हर साल ग्रोथ है. प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी इज आल्सो सो गुड, एंड नाउ पी रेशियो भी ठीक हो गया, प्राइस टू सेल भी बहुत डिसेंट हो गया कंपनी. ओके, तो जब ये बढ़ेगा ना, जब जैसे मार्केट थोड़ा इंटरेस्ट टाइम ठीक होगा, दे विल शूट अप वेरी 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 इन अ वेरी बिग वे. बिकॉज ऑफ द इंटरेस्ट डिजाइन दे आर सफरिंग, and because of the global sell off and tech stocks. But there are certain companies like Persistent, Mindtree, LTI. These are some fantastic stocks, So when the market will go up, these stocks may give you humongous returns. And if they continue to do this kind of growth in July, फिर तो आप देखिएगा जो stock बढ़ेंगे. That means they have been able to cover the bad part of the market. So there are many stocks like this, which are still growing despite of bad interest rate conditions. We can go back to the PPT. Next slide. So all the gurus, they always tell you, all the gurus, William O'Neill, 18-20% जो कंपनी में ग्रोथ हो रहा है उसमें ध्यान दीजिए। 20% हमने अरेंज कर दिया है, उसमें 20% के ऊपर कौन सा कंपनीज है। Any company which is having 20% growth in such a bad market, so they are going to really do well. Okay, so growth is a very important part. All the gurus talk about growth. Warren Buffett talks about growth. So very important. Martin Zwick talks about growth. We'll send you the PPT. You can go through this PPT. Next slide, Vikash. Peter Lynch talk about growth. Next slide. Okay, now we'll go into ROE. So before we complete, we'll take some questions on growth. Vikash, are they allowed to?
Yes.
Okay, please unmute yourself. Anybody has any questions? Questions, please. मैं अभी बीच में चैट नहीं पढ़ता हूँ, so
yes sir. Hello sir.
Yes, Prakash, बोलिए.
Sir, besides if company's ROE is good and sales is also good and profit is also good, then to price also falls down around 40%. So how to
opportunity है ना?
Okay, we have to take as an opportunities.
Obviously, it's an opportunity.
Okay.
It's an opportunity.
So suppose we have entered at the peak, at the high point, then
it's a good time to average it out. Good time to average it out if they are maintaining. तो जुलाई का रिजल्ट्स का वेट कर लीजिए प्रकाश जी.
Okay.
जुलाई के रिजल्ट्स के बाद अगर उसमें अभी भी ग्रोथ है तो उसको जरूर से एवरेज कर लीजिए.
Okay, I understand, but when we will exit?
वो मैं बताऊंगा अभी. We'll study exit. We'll study exit.
Thank you.
When the valuations are high, when the interest is going up, जब भी valuations high होता है उस समय exit करना पड़ता है stock.
Okay sir. Okay, thanks.
Whenever
Sir, Satak open here.
Yes.
Sir, Satak open here.
Yes, Mr. Satak.
Sir, in the strategies now, you also added a large cap 100 old.
No, that is not old. That has been deleted now.
You are deleted. Okay. All right.
चलो जी, नमस्कार. कुंजन दिस साइड.
Yes, कुंजन.
सर, आपने अभी बताया रेशो वो सेल्स वर्सेस 4.5 पर रेशो बताया ना आपने. सर व्हाट इज द आइडियल रेशियो, मतलब कि किससे उसको बियॉन्ड जाना चाहिए?
Is always better. Lower is always better.
लोअर. ओके.
विकास है मिला क्या? फाइल मिल गया क्या? File, is that file ready?
Yeah, almost ready sir. We are working on it. नया फाइल ही रेडी कर ले रहे हैं.
हाँ, बस नया आपको दिखा रहा है अभी प्रकाश जी, बाजार में कैसे तेजी आती है, सब वैल्यूएशन दिखा रहा है.
सर वो जो रेशियो बताया 4.5, वो आपने क्या बोला सर? वो सेल्स वर्सेस
दिखाऊंगा अभी मैं पूरा डेटा दिखाऊंगा.
अच्छा, दिखाएंगे आप. ओके, ठीक है. एंड सर जो सेल्स ग्रोथ है वो मोर देन 20 हो तो ज्यादा अच्छा है क्या? मतलब
बेटर है उतना, मतलब जितना हाई उतना बेटर है.
हाँ, तो 20 दिखता है एटलीस्ट, तो हाउ मच वी कैन एक्सपेक्ट द ग्रोथ इन ओवरऑल स्टॉक?
20%.
20%. 20% है तो 20% दिखाया, मतलब सेम करेगा रिफ्लेक्ट. ओके, थैंक यू.
But there are 6 फैक्टर देखना पड़ता है कुंजन जी.
Yes.
You have to see all the 6 factors. इसलिए मैंने आपको पहले ही दिखा दिया. 6 फैक्टर देखना पड़ता है.
राइट.
हम लोग 6 फैक्टर को डिटेल में डिस्कस करेंगे.
राइट.
Anybody else? Okay, no question.
Sir, you are mentioning that you will try to talk to Sharekhan to include that in the low case. Could you succeed that or?
No. अभी वो नहीं होगा. Not possible right now.
Not possible.
Okay. Let's continue with the slides, Vikas. Is it okay, everybody? Are you understanding? Difficult? New people? I have Swati ji, new. Swati ji, is it easy? Radhika, is it easy to understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
Swati, easy to understand? Swati ji, कोई difficulty हो रही है आपको the concept समझने में?
नहीं, ठीक है, no problem.
No problem. Who are the new ones? New ones, are you able to get on what we are discussing here? Okay.
Yes, sir. Clear. Clear.
Second factor, whenever you invest in a stock, check the ROE. The higher the ROE, better. Minimum 15 usually. Minimum 15. But बहुत high growth hai, you can put the forwards at 10. But minimum 15 ROE is important. Okay. So we will study ROE. We have studied the growth part, that why growth is important in a stock. Then we are studying ROE. Then we'll go into each stock also. But the fundamental should be very clear. That what are the factors we need to see when we invest in a stock. Okay. So we'll show you a good video of ROE on Ramdev Agarwal. It's a detailed video of 2, 3, 4 minutes. Enjoy the video. Because Ramdev Agarwal video.
Yes, sir.
It's just playing the video, 1 second.
Of the CNBC TV 18 investment guide, and our guest on the show is someone who's seen so many market cycles, Ramdev Agarwal of Motilal Oswal. Ramdev, now we want to spend some time talking about quality, which is one of the key filters that you always talk about, and it's exactly what you were just saying, right? If you pick the right stock, then you're home. So how do you define quality, and what are the parameters that you strictly measure quality against?
This is one subject of quality which everybody knows what is quality, what is not quality commonsensically. Yet there is no defined way to say that this is one way to see the quality. But I mean, there are 5, 6 ways one looks at it depending on the company which you are looking at right now. But one common filter which comes to my mind to start with is about the return on equity or productivity of the capital. And for how long the productivity of capital is high, and is it a company which has a sustainable business and a business which has a high productivity of assets or capital, you can say. Say you have 1,000 crore worth of asset. Some businesses, they barely earn, say, 100 crores. That's about 10%. And some business, year after year, they earn 250 or 300 crores, 25, 30%. That's where the quality story starts. And understanding quality again has a 2 dimension. One, are you looking at old company, something which is running for 10, 20 years, or are you looking at a company which is a brand new company, which is just 3, 4, 5 years old or 7 years old, first time they are making profit. So if you looking at old company, I mean, most of the time, 90% time you're looking at old company with track record of 10, 15, 20 years, you get nice, ratios where you can figure out right from now I'm really remembering the process, how I go about it. I go to my ratio. I mean, once I see that companies of reasonable size making 10, 20 crores, then I go to straight ratios, because when you're doing ratios, you typically don't see the absolute number. So when you look at the ratio, the first ratio I see is what has been the recent track record of 10 years of the return on equity. And if turns out to be more like a 20, 22%, 23% year after year, with no break, below 15%, the consistently, if it is making 18, 20, 25, 30 or even more, that's the kind of thing which brings the quality story on. Because one of the belief is that businesses are capital input output machine. Irrespective of name of the business, businesses are capital input output machine. And if your risk-free rate is about 8 to 10%, then significantly higher return on capital or assets is a sign that there's some magic on in that particular company. What is that magic? We don't know, but the numbers are telling me that they're able to earn a lot more on the capital employed than the normally what a business should be earning. So that is a first starting point of quality company. Then you look at that is the first ratio. Then you look at the terms of trade. Immediately I go to the terms of trade. if the company is making money, then are they able to collect their money, collect their dues? Like if you are giving, I mean, you'll find very few companies with less than 30 days debtors level. So what happens is, if you do business, you make the things in 30, 40 days, 50 days, depending on what you're making, and you are giving it to a customer or dealer or distributor, and you are not able to collect the money. Or are you able to collect the money in 10 days, 15 days, or on a spot? There are 2-3 types of business. One, you collect it after 30 days. Other, you collect it on cash. And there are some businesses where actually you collect it before time. That is in advance. That shows the strength of your business. So we are not only earning 20% or 25%, you're also able to collect the entire profit well on time. That gives you cash flow. And so once you have the high ROE and very good terms of trade with your buyer of the products or services, that kind of starts my inquisition about what exactly is this company and how good they are designed. And then you get into trying to understand the businesses, what are the entry barriers. Then you.
I hope you understood. थोड़ा 2-3-4 मिनट का वीडियो है. So just understanding कि अगर कोई भी कंपनी अपना ROE maintain कर रहा है 15-20% के ऊपर, okay, so those companies are very, very good. So let's go in the details of the ROE. Let's go to the ROE slides.
Yes.
One of the most important for investing in the company return is equity. Return on equity reveals how much a profit a company earned in comparison to total amount of shareholder equity fund. Okay, so what is a shareholder equity fund? I'll show you. Okay, इससे you also come to know the efficiency of the company. एक बहुत simple, it is a very simple thing that if you invest 1 crore in a company, how much you expect? You obviously expect at least 15-20% of return. Correct? So if you're not getting 20%, you're only getting 5% return, then why are we doing business? We can put that money in a fixed deposit. So when you invest in a company, make sure that the company is efficient to earn 15-20% ROE. Because there are only 20-25% company in India, we can earn that kind of. So many people ask me, how do we know an efficient management? An efficient management is known by ROE. That is the first way. That is why all the people say, oh, this company is good. They are able to maintain ROE above 15, 20, 25 for 5 years. That means the product is good. They have great demand of the product. They have competitive advantage. They have efficiency. And they are able to make profits also. Okay. So one metric, which is the most important metric to understand efficiency management, is ROE. Okay, so whenever you study, that is, I'm showing you videos, I'm showing you proof from Warren Buffett that why ROE is very, very important. So make sure that when you're investing in companies, you're making sure that the ROE is very, very good. And there are many companies which has been able to maintain this kind of high ROE. And an improved ROE, that means they are able to grow the ROE from 15 to 20 to 25 to 30. That is even fantastic. That is even fantastic. Markets really give a lot of money on improved ROE. The prices, stock prices really jump up. We have seen that when we have put return on equity in the strategy, the returns have increased by 50% in 5 years. So definitely stock prices moves according to the factors. See, what is my benefit when you join me or when you join our classes? We are making those important areas. We should always remember, hey, growth hai ki nahi? What is the ROE? If you have these 4 or 5 questions, you can immediately decide whether the stock is good or bad. Okay, so even if the prices goes down, when the market goes up, these stocks will go up. Okay, so companies with a higher return on equity is more likely to be one that can generate greater income with new investments. The key to finding stocks that are lucrative investments in the long run often involves finding companies capable of consistently generating an outsized return on equity over many decades. In contrast, a decline in ROE means that the management is making poor decisions or investing capital on unproductive assets. So this is a very, very important parameter which I wanted to explain you. We should have in your mind because the prices moves accordingly. Next line. Warren Buffett, the ideal business is one that earns very high returns on capital and that keeps using lots of capital at those high returns. That becomes a compounding machine. In short, companies that achieve a high return on the capital are likely to have a special advantage of some kind. That special advantage keeps competitors from destroying the ability to earn above average profits. So this is a very, very important. So this is very important part of our strategy. So when we, why our strategies do well, why should we invest in our strategy? Because when we run the platform, we see the growth, we see the sales growth, we see the ROE, and then select those stocks. So we know that as a portfolio, we will do very well. Okay. Now, how is ROE calculated? So shareholder fund. What is shareholder fund? Total net worth of the company, which is the share equity capital plus reserves and surplus. So if you see right now, the shareholder fund of Reliance is 7,79,000 crore rupees. That is the shareholder fund. That is equity capital plus reserves plus surplus is known as total net worth or book value or shareholder fund. It is the same word. Okay. Next slide. So how do we calculate ROE? Annual profit plus shareholder fund of last year and this year. Okay, so if you put these figures, then you will get the ROE. So net profit of is 67,000 crore. So we have divided, so 11.33. We got shown the app, 11.33. Very large companies, even if they are able to manage the ROE of 11, 12 is not bad. Reliance is a very, very large company. So even if that large company can do an ROE of 12, 13 is very good. So see the ROE is यहाँ पर तो 8.21 दिखा रहा है, not correct.
Yeah, sorry, I have written growth by mistake. ROE would be 8.2.
ठीक कर दे इधर इधर.
Yeah.
Okay, so he'll correct it there. We did not, because if the selection is from, we will discuss the strategy rather than. We can't discuss individual stocks. We'll discuss the strategy later. First, understand the principles. Once you understand the principles, then you will understand the strategy. What are the main points which we need to keep in mind? Okay, so shareholder fund divided by 8.22% is the ROE of Reliance. Okay, which is quite low. That is why, we don't want to, because it affects but their growth in the market is very, very high. That is why the prices keeps going up. Next slide. This is how ROE is calculated. Now see how many companies have ROE greater than 15? There are only 166 companies. There are about 1,700, 1,800 stocks. Only 10% companies have great ROE. 5 saal continues is only 166 companies. So very, very difficult. So people ask me, sir, how do we know a great management? How do we know this is a great company? So this is how you understand. How do you know that company is efficient? How will I judge a great company? It is by ROE. It is one of the greatest parameters looked at by all the intelligent people. Okay, so this parameter gives you a great idea of a company which is doing well. And you just can't see 1 year of ROE. You have to see 2, 3 years, 4, 3 years of ROE. Then only you know that the company is doing very well. Okay, next slide. बाद में आएगा. Next slide is ROE is finished. Yeah. So same thing is ROC. Same thing is ROC is very similar. ROE and ROCE. Okay. So ऐसे बहुत companies का ROE देखना is good enough, but sometimes people also see ROC. So we'll send you the slide. We're not going in details. It is pretty similar. थोड़ा सा how we दिखा देता हूँ. How it is calculated. Next, दिखा how it is calculated. So this is shareholder fund plus long-term borrowing and short-term borrowing. So companies which has a huge borrowing, तो उसका ROC कम हो जाता है. So that is why some people see ROC also. This is very important for capital-intensive companies, जिससे बहुत capital लगता है. Okay, which companies like steel companies, auto companies, power companies, जहाँ पर बड़े-बड़े factories लेने पड़ते हैं, बड़े-बड़े machines लेने पड़ते हैं. So they have to borrow money. So that affects the ROC of a company. Okay, so some people take ROE like for banks, उनका ROE देखना पड़ेगा, उनका ROC आप नहीं देख सकते. Okay, but for capital intensive companies, you have to see ROC. So, but even if you see ROE, it's good enough. It more or less remains the same. So just calculate anything above 15 ROC and 20 ROE, ROC is a great company. कभी भी अभी भी देखिए किसका ROE 30 है and they have a good July results. Those companies will really do well. If they do growth in July and their ROE, ROC is above 25, 30, they are going to rocket up like this. You should know how the stock prices ऊपर जाती है. कौन सा thought process से stock लेने से the prices will go up. Or your prices will fall very less. If you have that clear in your mind, then the stock prices will go up. Okay, next slide, Vikash. Okay, some people are very unclear about consolidated and standalone. Okay, we'll take questions and then we'll talk. Okay, let's make questions on ROE. Questions on ROE, friends?
Yeah, I wanted to ask something, Shailesh.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so the thing is, like, for example, I'm giving you an example that last quarter, the ROE was 5. Okay, only 5. Okay. The profit was, say, 5 crore. Now, this quarter in 3 months, the profit has come as 10 crore. So will the ROE also double in the 3 months?
It will not double. It is according to the shareholder value, the percentage will change. Na?
Okay, but it will go up for sure, right?
Obviously, it will go up for sure, definitely.
So say, for example, in 1 year, the profitability has become 5 crore to 15 crore, say in 1 year time. So roughly, is there any link that how much will the ROE increase?
No, but if they have increased the shareholder fund, they put more capital also.
No capital. Nothing is changed.
Obviously, it will go up.
No, like, will it double, triple the ROE, or will it just go up by 2-3 points? Like, what is the correlation?
It depends on how much is the shareholder fund.
That is same, whatever it was.
No, जैसे example, I'll give you an example. Because open an Excel sheet.
Yeah.
Because you open an Excel sheet. So if the shareholder fund is, I'll just show you the shareholder fund is 1,000 crore.
Yeah. It remains same, huh? Only the profitability is going up.
We can just do the shareholder fund. Is 1,000 crore.
Correct. Say profit was 1,000 only, 1,000 crore only, for example.
Profit is 100 crores.
Okay.
We'll take 5 crore. That profit is 50 crores, Vikash. So the ROE will be 10 here.
ROE will be 10. If the profit is 100, na? Okay. Now profit becomes 200 in 1 quarter only.
ROE will become 20.
तो वही double हो गया ना, वही पूछ रहा था.
Obviously, because of the shareholder value remains the same.
Okay, so मतलब ROE is exactly connected to the profit if the shareholder value remains the same.
Obviously.
Okay, so in 1 quarter, if profit is doubling, ROE will also double.
ROE will also double if the shareholders fund does not change.
Yeah, same thing for ROC.
Shareholders fund, sometimes it is not declared quarterly to quarterly.
Okay, okay. Well, that is capital increase, na?
वो देखो मैं shareholder fund is capital. विकास दिखा दे shareholder fund का description.
Equity. Yeah, return net income divided by
shareholder
shareholder.
fund का detail इसके पहले shareholder fund. Shareholder fund दिखा दे विकास. Detail of shareholder fund. Vikas shareholder fund, yeah. Yeah, this is shareholder fund. Equity capital plus reserves plus surplus.
Okay, okay. ठीक है. If this nothing is increased in this, then there is no issue.
But sometimes what happens is they take borrowing. So
Okay.
the shareholder fund is not changing, but the ROC will change. See the
ROC.
how ROC will calculate. ROC दिखा दो विकास.
Okay.
So that is why sometimes you have to be careful because if you have देखो जिसमें shareholder fund plus long term borrowing plus short term borrowing.
Oh. Okay. ROC is different, a little different, that means. Okay, got it. I got it. Okay, one more thing I want to ask is, you know, a lot of times this is happening that, for example, you know, there is an ROE of 10, say last March quarter, okay? And the profit was, as you said, 1,000 crore capital and 100 crore profit. Now in this April quarter, the next result came, the profit doubled. It came as 200, but at 10 we are not buying because, you know, it's not qualifying, because below 15, as you said, it's not a good idea to buy. But now, you know, we see the profit that, you know, it has come, the day the result has come, the profit is doubled, you know, so we can then buy, no? Because the ROE will also become 20. That
obviously.
So we don't need to wait for the things to change and the app to update. If we've spotted it, that the profit is doubled.
Sometimes what happens is the ROE changes not because of sales growth, but because of a land sale or because of some insurance benefits. So you have to be very careful with profits.
Correct. It should be actual profit.
It should be profits from the business, and there should be an increase in sales also.
Okay, right, correct.
The profit also increases because the raw material prices have gone down.
Correct. It should be. Okay, I'll give you the real example. Increase in sales by 20%, profit doubled, EBITDA doubled, capital remains same, everything else is same, and ROE was 8 in the 1 quarter previous. So automatically ROE will become 16 now because everything else is same. So you can buy, blindfolded.
Correct. That means that is improved ROE, Improved ROE is always a good way investment.
Yeah. But ROE will double, because till it gets updated, it will double, right?
Well, it will.
Okay, that's all. Thank you so much.
But what happens, I'll tell you, sometimes these companies क्या करते हैं, वो दिखता है कि double हो गया है, but वो shareholder fund में दिखता नहीं है. But when you take the yearly balance sheet, then it shows.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. कि updation में time लगता है. But as soon as you realize other things are same, what you've just said, so you can buy, and then, you know, it will get updated with its own time.
Correct.
I got it. Thank you. Yeah, bye. That's all.
Anybody else has any questions on ROE?
Shailesh, one thing, sorry. ROC also, everything remains same, the formula you gave, but profit is doubled. Okay, the same example. Everything else is remaining same.
There is no borrowing increase.
No. So then ROC will also double, na?
Obviously.
Yeah. But nothing else is increased, only the profit is doubled. So ROC will also double.
Yes.
And it was at 8, we were not buying because everything was good, the business was good, but, you know, we were seeing ROC is very less. 8 is less. But now, you know, since it's doubled, it will become 16 automatically. So we can buy because the parameters are fulfilling now.
Correct.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Anybody else has any questions on growth, ROE? Because आज किसी का कैमरा दिख नहीं रहा है, सब शांत है, बाजार खराब है, तो सब लोग की एनर्जी बड़ी डाउन है. But are you learning something? Is it good? Is it interesting? Yes, no?
Very good. Shailesh, on cash flow, can I ask something? Sorry. On cash flow, can I ask something? Should I ask later?
I will come on cash flow.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Question on ROE.
Yes, बोलिए.
Sir, this ROE, are we supposed to track on quarterly basis or yearly basis?
आप yearly basis ही track करिए, but समझिए अगर profit growth हो रहा है, तो obviously उसका ROE बढ़ रहा है उसका companies का. But he understand the market. आप yearly basis में रखिए, नहीं तो आप लोग confuse हो जाएंगे.
Okay, sir. So it means that up till the last March annual result, the ROE we have tracked and it was good. And current year, for example, every quarterly the profits are keeps on growing. So obviously on the annual result, the ROE will be boosting up.
Obviously.
Okay, understood, sir.
Anybody else has a question on ROE? Is it interesting? Very simple. Huh? I'm just working on prices. Growth makes prices move. ROE makes prices move. Sabri ji must be getting bored, huh? Because you must have heard this many times.
Yes, sir. I have heard it many times, but it's always worth hearing one more time because it will reinforce the belief.
Reinforce the belief. Okay.
Yeah, because it is easy to forget, easy to ignore, and you ignore and forget only at your peril.
But we cannot forget the basics. We forget these basics, we are in a deep problem.
Yes.
We should never forget the basics, you know.
One group of shares, the Adani group, if you look at it, the ROE will be very poor. So
ROE is very poor, they have debts. I don't know. I don't understand. Their valuations are very high.
So these are the temptations people fall into.
Yeah, that is why. And they're still maintaining the prices. The day this Adani will grow, then there'll be problem. I think so. He's only surviving because of Modi's hand, I think so.
I keep telling myself, when I try to punch in the order for Adani, you don't do it because the ROE is very poor.
ROE and the debts are very high and the valuations are very high.
Valuations are over the roof. It is just.
Yeah, so that is why we should always be away from these companies.
Yes.
Okay, anybody else?
This ROE, are we supposed to see in conjunction with the market capitalization? So if the peer companies.
No. Okay, shall we continue?
Okay,
shall
sir.
we continue? Yes, because let's go back to the PPT. We'll send you the PPT also, so that you can refer to the PPT, ask questions, and I'll give you everybody a homework. Tell me the stock which you have in your system. What is the growth? What is the ROE? Check the stocks in the strategy which we have given. What is the growth? What is the ROE? And then you know the difference, that why our stocks perform, because we follow those principles. Okay, we follow those principles. That is where the stocks perform or falls less in a falling market. Okay, so this is a very interesting thing. You can read it. I'll send you ROE versus ROC. I'll send you the PPT. If you want to read, you read it. Next slide, Vikas. Warren Buffett, what does he show in ROE, ROC? Continue, Vikas. Continue. ये कहाँ से आ गया? ये तो वैल्यूएशन में आएगा ना ये. Would you like a PPT or you don't want the PPT? Would you like the PPT? Yes, no?
Yes, sir. We all want for study.
For study. Many people ask for PPT, but कोई study करता नहीं है. Okay, consolidated and standalone statement. ये बहुत ही simple चीज है, but बहुत लोग को confusion है. There are many companies, they have a standalone and they have group companies. So when they have group companies, they have to declare the consolidated profit and loss. So out of 1700 companies, 1200 companies are consolidated and 500 companies do not have any group companies, they are standalone. So when you are seeing the markets, in our app, we always give the consolidated results if it is available. But if you go to Money Control anyway, they give you both consolidated and standalone. You should always see the consolidated statements of the company, not the standalone. Okay. if the company is only standalone, they will not show consolidated statement. They will only show standalone statement. So this is a very simple thing which people forget when they see the results. Okay. Again, I'm repeating, whenever you get a company which is showing consolidated, you will see only consolidated. Where a company is not showing consolidated, you will see the standalone results. What is the difference between the two? The difference is consolidated is group companies. There are 100 companies. All the balance sheets comes in one company. Standalone is only one company. Standalone, there is only one company. Consolidated means the balance sheet consolidated of 50 companies, which is affecting Reliance. Reliance will have a marketing company, one buying company. Everything affects Reliance profits. Okay. So this is called consolidated and standalone. So please remember this. Next slide. When are quarterly results announced? Many people don't know this. March quarter is announced by 10th May. That is why we release the stocks on 10th June. It takes us 10 days. Okay, June quarter results will be announced by 14th August. We will declare the stock list on 25th August. Then same thing, 25th November, we'll declare another stock list, and 25th February, we'll declare another stock list. So we take about 10 days to make all the strategies. We check just highest growth, highest ROE, and then we give those strategies to all our customers. So you will not be able to find the right portfolio, the stocks, the balance of each sector. So our stock selection strategies are very, very highly intelligent. It will be very difficult to make portfolio stocks like that. Okay, so please follow the strategies first. But some people are still over engineering. You know, now I think so they must have become humble after losing money. Sorry to say, but you know, if you are buying stocks on your own mind, then we may lose money. So be very careful with that. You should always buy a portfolio of stocks. The way we make you invest in small case, where there are 10, 12 stocks, from each sector, there are 12 stocks, each has a growth, each has an ROE. So that as a portfolio, you know, we make money in the stock market. So please remember that. That's a very important point to look at. Next slide. Next slide, Iraj. Okay, so these are the dates when this is 20th August when we usually release, but we want to take another 5 days. So we extend this because we have to extend. These dates are not correct. It's 10 days.
We'll update it here.
Okay, next slide. This is another problem people don't understand. What is year on year? What is Q and Q? So when you will see the results in Money Control or in any newspaper, they use the word Y on Y. What is the meaning of Y and Y? Quarter March 21 to quarter March 22. That is called Y and Y. What is Q and Q? Quarter December to quarter March. This is the difference between Y and Y and Q and Q. Okay, so you should always see Y and Y. But if some companies are also doing well Q and Q, then there is double benefit, Y and Y and Q and Q. But even if you see Y and Y, then it is very, very good because it also covers the seasonal cycle of the stocks. Okay, so this is one thing people don't understand. What is the meaning of Y and Y? Oh, yearly means 19 and 20 March. That is not correct. It is not year on year. Year on year means quarter March 21 comparison to quarter March 22. So these are very simple words which comes in the newspaper, but people don't know how to read the results. Okay.
Sir, what is G on G?
No question in middle, please. Next slide. When I ask you, then only. Yeah? When I will allow you, please ask question that. Okay. So this is the display. How did we know that we had sold Yes Bank at 182 and 19 rupees? Whenever you see, this is how you study the risk factor. This is the risk factor in a company. So that is why you should really study quarter and quarter results. Why I was saying that we should study June quarter results, because the war, everything started in March. Okay, the interest rate was risen. So, I know, and between April, May, and June, many companies have suffered a lot because of high interest rates globally and in India. The demand is down, the supply chain has a problem. So because of these reasons, any company which will do well in June quarter will be very good. But any company which does not do well in the June quarter, we have to be very careful. That is why the quarterly strategies are fantastic, you know. So in case we have entered a wrong stock, you know, we are not holding for a long time, we exit. So many people, they buy the stock and they don't exit. But if you follow our strategy, we exit because we want to be only in the good growth stocks. Whenever the growth is reducing, we exit those stocks. So you observe, you know, which stocks we are exiting, why we are exiting. You know, you must have a list, which stocks we're entering again. So if you study that, then you realize that we are always want to be with growth stocks, okay? And we don't want to be stuck. So this is the big benefit of investing in our strategy, which will be very difficult for you to do on individual stocks. But if you want to do, you have to be very, very careful, and you have to learn to exit the stocks which goes in negative growth. That is one of the risks. Vikash, first page dikhana ek baar. That is why quarterly results are very important for the stocks which you hold in the demat. You take a risk factor. The number 6 point, if you see, degrowth in the last quarters. So whenever you see degrowth, that is a very big risk factor. Very, very big risk factor. Okay, so you have to be very careful with risk factors. Okay, next slide, Vikash. The basics should be clear, huh? How intelligent people follow the basics. Now, this is the income statement you should learn. Starts with net sales, then these are the expenditure, then the operating profit, then you have the interest, then you have exceptional item, then you have extraordinary item, then minority interest, share profit, and then the net profit. Okay, so we will cover 4 more things so that you understand that how you see an income statement of a company. Okay, what are the things to be seen in the income statement? Next slide, Vikash. So what is an exceptional item? Exceptional item is profit and loss arises on disposal of fixed asset, abnormal losses, insurance claims. So these are not business profits or losses. So whenever there is an exceptional profit or an exceptional loss, you should always minus it. So we try to give you the adjusted profit. We minus the exceptional item and we give you the adjusted profit. So that is the exact business profit. Or so once you are clear that there is no exceptional profits or losses in the business, because we have to focus on the business, not on exceptional items. So due to this also, Gautam, the ROE changes sometimes. So you have to be very careful.
Yeah, got it.
If the ROE is changing because of exceptional item, that is a very dangerous thing.
Yeah, obviously it's temporary. It's only for that quarter.
Quarter, and that is not business profit or loss. That is why we have to see the sales, and we have to be careful that whether if you see a big jump in ROE or big jump in profits, you should study whether there is an exceptional item or not. So this is how sometimes investors feel, "Arey, profit badh gaya, le lo," and they lose money because they don't check the exceptional item.
Right.
Next slide. There is also extraordinary items, earthquakes, tsunamis, fire. Abhi shayad Deepak Nitrate mein fire lag gaya tha. So temporarily there will be a loss. That does not mean that, you know, the company is done badly. You know, So these companies have very fast way to recover and come back. So there are extraordinary items, but ये बहुत rare होता है इस balance sheet में. But हुआ था एक बार, remember GNC had caught a fire, अभी Deepak Nitrite had caught a fire. So we have to see that how the balance sheets have been affected because of fire. Fire is a very common thing which happens in factories. Next slide. Minority interest and share of PL of associate. So these are mostly for companies which is consolidated. Remember, consolidated companies. So जो consolidated companies होते हैं जिसके 50 कंपनी में इन्वेस्टमेंट्स है, so उसमें क्या minority interest है, उसका क्या PL of associates है joint venture में, everything comes in the balance sheet. Okay, विकास वो slide वापस दिखाना, income statement वापस से दिखाना. देखिए यहाँ पर, so you will get a PAT, profit after tax, and then add or less minority interest, add or less, and then you get a net profit. So please remember, the net profit is different from PAT. So in consolidated companies, you'll always find this. In standalone companies, you will never, बहुत rarely होता है minority interest because there is only one company. But in consolidated companies, you'll always find minority interest and share of profit. So these are all joint ventures, investment of these companies in other companies, which affects the balance sheet. So you always have to, that is why you have to see the net profit. Okay. So let's stop here. Let's take the final question, Vikash. Any final
So
question?
ये समझ में नहीं आया आपका सर PAT और net profit में what is the difference?
दिखाया ना मैंने अभी. देखिए PAT
हाँ,
यहाँ
पर
पर आया आपका. उसके बाद माइनॉरिटी इंटरेस्ट, शेयर ऑफ प्रॉफिट माइनस या कम होता है, उसके बाद नेट प्रॉफिट आता है.
Okay.
So we have to take net profit for all calculation after minority interest.
Always net profit.
Okay, so after the minority interest, whatever the figure is.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Sir, sometimes it is referred as G on G. What is that G on G?
G on G? मैंने नहीं सुना सर कभी. मैंने तो अभी तक नहीं सुना 30 साल.
आपकी एप्लीकेशन में रिफर किया है साहब.
वो ग्रोथ एंड ग्रोथ है भाई, वो क्वार्टर एंड क्वार्टर, वो ग्रोथ ऑन ग्रोथ है.
Sir, pardon me, sir. What is that exactly?
Growth on growth.
Growth on growth. So what is meaning of that, sir?
भाई क्वार्टर एंड क्वार्टर ग्रोथ ऑन ग्रोथ हो रहा है, हर क्वार्टर में ग्रोथ हो रहा है. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. हर क्वार्टर में ग्रोथ हो रहा है, ग्रोथ परसेंटेज, जिसको ग्रोथ ऑन ग्रोथ बोलते हैं.
I have a question. I think you'll be a best judge in kind of explaining a little bit of how you approach those companies, especially some in the chemical sector. You know, they've brought on new plants and they've come online. So the sales is increasing. Because the sales is increasing, the net profit is increasing. But what is happening is because of the oil prices or because of the input cost, the net profit margin is reducing, but yet the net profit is increasing and the ROE is increasing. And some of these companies are getting hit. Markets are not reacting well to any net profit margin decrease also. So can you just share your views on such stocks, especially chemical stocks?
Oil prices plays a big role in the raw materials of the company, but if they are able to generate higher growth in sales and higher growth in profit, so despite of raw material price increase or despite of oil increase, they're still able to maintain. And chemicals are, what we have seen is in the last few years, chemical sector has done very, very well because of huge demand and many supply problems from China. So chemicals, I've seen, if you study chemical sector, they have always been the top 5 sectors in our app, always top 3, top 1. So despite of higher oil prices, they have done well. When the oil prices go down, the stocks will really jump up. You know, so the net profit, definitely net profit margin goes down. But what we have seen in my historical 5 years, you know, if they're able to maintain the sales growth and profit growth, then you will not see much difference. There will be not a very big fall in net profit margin. And it may be temporary because net profit margin may increase very substantially if the oil prices goes down. So again, the prices will go up.
You're right, sir. So basically, if there's so long as they're increasing the net profit and sales also, and even if the stock prices are taking a beating because of the net profit margin decrease, we can yet continue to.
Right now, the stock prices are taking beating because of higher oil prices and because of the overall interest rate regime. So once I remember 2016 February, crude was very high, and as the crude oil the prices went down, the chemical stocks that year gave a return of 100%. So if the crude oil comes down to $80, $70, you should put a lot of money. You should have 15% chemical stocks in your portfolio.
Right, sir. There are because if the capex cycle, I think it's a long gestation period for chemical companies, and some of these companies have come online stream now, and because of which they're able to maintain the profit growth in spite of net profit margin coming down. So it's worth considering and utilizing the downfall in the stock prices.
Some companies, when we come, we'll be studying the stocks. I'm just doing the basics first, so that there are many new people have joined, and because of the bad scenario of the market, the people have forgotten the basics. So I just want to review the basics to everyone so that people know that these are the strong basics. If this is strong in you, you will make money. But if the basics are wrong in the stocks, which they are supposed to do the homework today, then they're going to suffer because their stocks are not going to go up. Even if the market goes up.
Thank you for creating a foundation today. I think it was worth the basics. Going back to the drawing board, the foundation is always the most important part of it.
The foundation is good, you'll make money in the stock market. If the foundation is bad, then God help you. Okay, friends, tomorrow I need to go back to your Demat account, go back to the app, tell me all the stocks. If the ROE is greater than 15, if they have sales growth, they have profit growth. If you don't have these three things in your stocks, then better change the stock. Okay, that is my recommendation. Go back, check these three things on your stocks. Okay, friends, 7 o'clock. So we'll see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
so much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.